Aloha and welcome. It is Monday. Happy Aloha Monday. Yes, back to work. I don't know how everyone else has been with the back to work week. This one's going to be a fun week. I got a lot of things scheduled. Not sure about you guys, but it's definitely been busy over here. So, let's see how are y'all doing. I know I've been talking with a couple of y'all off of the live lately. Actually, earlier I was over in Steph's live, and I finally had to. I'm sorry, guys, I had to leave. I was actually getting way too involved. They were playing games, trying to guess. Okay, riddles. You know how when you tell riddles, and all of us get into trying to figure out what the answer to the riddle was. And here I am trying to find who I'm going to cover for today, and I'm answering riddles, and I'm like, girl, you got to finish what you need to do for later today. No. So I finally, yeah. So I was there for a while. We had a lot of fun. I was so happy I got to hang out there. And congrats to her because she just got monetized. I know there's a lot of you right now who are working your way through monetization with the changes and the rules and stuff like that. And I'm so happy we're getting to that now. So I'm giving the dogs some food while last night I've been working on a new set of Lilo and Stitch diamond painting key rings. So, but I see Butterfly Kisses in the chat. Hello, Butterfly Kisses. How you doing, my dear? Seems like today's been a kind of quiet day out there on YouTube land. So I'm not sure how many. I know a lot of people are fighting little bugs and stuff like that. And a lot of people tired. It was a long weekend for a lot of us. And also, we'll see how many we get coming in. I'm trying to give everyone a little chance with there's Chris. Hello, Chris. Mwah. How you doing, my dear? And it was a crazy week. I got to go play games with some friends and stuff. Really nice. I hadn't. It's been about a month since my last game day, so getting to just relax and chill out and just forget everything else in life. It's awesome. So, Lilo and Stitch, yes, Butterfly Kisses. I've got all of my Lilo and Stitch stuff. I mean, I've got my tote. My friend actually made this. I've got a couple other totes here. Actually, I'm going to be selling. If anyone's interested, I'm going to post the picture of them. They're for Maui. We've got some Maui Strong totes that he is making. And JP, did you do a lot? Sorry, Mondays are like one of my days that I don't even get around to things. Oh, dig deeper in BTK. Ooh, I'll have to go check that one out. So you did your channels. It is. Yes, congrats, JP. Yes. And there's Sleuth. Love you, my dear. Love you, my dear. Yes, Cassie, I know. She's sitting here just scratching at my arm, like, pay attention to me, mommy. I want treats. Give me more treats. So, um, but yeah, I what we're gonna do is he's got five it's only a run of five totes that he's gonna be able to make. And he's gonna be selling them for it was $50 and all of the donate everything. The full $50 will go towards the Maui Strong fund. So I just need to put together some pictures from him and then share it out with you guys. But they're really cute, just like that other tote, but all in pink with the Hawaiian print, and it says Maui Strong and all that. It's really adorable. He made originally 10, and they sold out at the Made in Hawaii. And so he was like, now let me do a couple more because I told him there were some of you online who wanted some stuff. So yeah, he saved a couple back. So, well, let's see where we are. So, first of all, yes, JP, congrats on you, my dear. Congrats. I know there's a lot of people who are truly, they're getting their monetized up, and there go the dogs. Yes, let the dogs go. I knew that would happen. This mom just walked in the door. And do we have another escapee out there? Hey, guys, go see grandma. Go see grandma. Go see grandma, please. And so mom's been out shopping today. So, but let me pull this up. And what I want to do is kind of get going. I know I hear she's okay. Let me give you a treat. If there's ever something that'll shut the dogs up, it is treats. That will work any day. So let's see what we have for today. So let me ask you guys first. Has anyone heard of Jared? Jared Shadi. He went missing in the Look at Pennsylvania. Oh, I saw something about that last night. I did actually. When I was looking around, starting my research for today, I came across and I was like, whoa. Pennsylvania definitely has had a lot of little escape type things going on. That whole area seems to. So, hey, 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 Cassie, stop it. And so let me just ask, put a one in chat if you have heard about Jared. Put a two in chat if this is a new case for you. I think I had heard a little bit about him a couple weeks ago, but I never really did any deep research on him actually until now. Okay, we got a two from Chris there. Let's see. I have a funny feeling very few have heard because I don't. There was a lot of coverage about 2 weeks ago, and then it stopped. It was like a dead stop. Right about the time there was some stuff found vehicle wise and all, and they were talking about it, and there's been nothing. In fact, I'll be honest, after that I've tried to find out, was he found? No, nothing about him being found, nothing update wise whatsoever. So I'm really hoping we can kind of get the word out, kind of pick this up a little bit here, because this is a 27-year-old, if I remember right correctly here, who went missing during what is starting to look to me more and more like a road trip that he was on. He's an individual. Actually, let me pull this up so you guys can see. Yeah, there we go, Jared. So this is Jared. Hey, in the bushes. How you doing, my dear? Mwah. Love you, my dear. Hope you're doing good. Um, so this is Jared. Jared, as I mentioned earlier, okay, is an independent soul. Okay, very successful young man. Very successful young man. Really worked hard on his life. Um, yeah, okay, Chris. I think I had heard. Yeah, there's the other stuff. Potential other BTK victims. Yes, I gotta watch that a little bit more. So, yes, Cassie, I see you. So, as you can see here, they're putting down the day that he went missing as July 30th. So if you look at that, July 30th, we're going 5, 6 weeks now that this guy has been missing. He went missing actually across the United States from where he actually lives. Okay, Jared himself is an immigration lawyer, very, very successful young man, as I mentioned. He grew up in Washington D.C. area. Okay, let me look at my notes here. And it actually no, not Washington. He grew up in Queens, New York. So he grew up in that area, had a lot of really close friends that he was really well connected with. All of the friends are like, he's a great guy. He was someone dependable. He's someone that you could lean on. Okay, he just really, really a go getter, someone who was really pushing his life forward, and which he did. After he graduated from high school, he went on to become not only a lawyer and get into law school, but he ended up in law school at Duke University. We're talking Ivy League college. He was able to get in there, did become a lawyer, became started practicing though in the area of immigration, Washington D.C. So he lived in Maryland, D.C. area, and he worked for a law group, a legal agency that really focused on immigration. Worked there. He is definitely someone who just, as one family friend said, he was living the American dream for his family. He did really good in school. He was responsible. He took care of his father. Um, he was just really, really good into that. He also had a lot of likes, like all of us do, things that really kind of made his heart beat, made him enjoy his life. One of those was music. He loved music. And one of his dreams was to actually, at some point in his future, was to do a road trip. And during the road trip, see a lot of different places. He wanted to go and do some music vlogging or blogging. So he would go to concerts and blog about the concert experience, things on all those areas. He loved to frequent coffee shops, concert venues, museums, hiking trails. I mean, really active guy. This is not someone who stayed in his house all the time. Um, so his story, the story of him going missing, started actually in July when he left his home, okay, and everywhere in DC. He I've been able to get this from two locations so far. It looks like he may have quit his job at the legal firm. He still had his license, okay, so he still planned on being a lawyer and stuff like that, but he decided it's looking more and more like he decided he wanted to take one of the road trips, travel from Washington, D.C. to the West Coast. And based off of that, he had his apartment. He kept his apartment. His last rental payment was on July 3rd. He planned on coming back there, never moved out of it, never closed the thing or anything like that. And also, hi mom. Okay, thank you. And didn't move anything at all like that. You need anything? Oh, okay, got it. She's watching me. And also, so anyhow, as he started that travel across the United States, he stopped off at a couple different places. Some of the ones that have been able to be verified according to USA Today included an area called Forks in Washington, and another one was he actually went down to LA, which is interesting. Remember that one because LA is going to pop up in the story one more time. Um, Chris, could he have been thinking? I can say this everyone in his family, I have not heard a single thing about mental health concerns whatsoever. Sometimes you do get that. People will mention that their family members that there were mental health concerns or concerns about behaviors heading out. There was none of that whatsoever. If anything, it just sounded like someone who was going out on that road trip he always wanted to do. And so he got over there, started going through the West Coast, and on July 30th, um, we found an article on this. Oh yeah, send it to me, my dear. Send it. Go for it. Um, I'll take a look. I might not be able to look at it until after the live, but I'll definitely look at it after the live and see if we've got some more up to date information. Got it. So on July 30th, he checked into an Airbnb in Seattle, Washington. This Airbnb was in the Capitol Hill area, okay, 16th Avenue, I think it was, in the Capitol Hill. Sounds great, Chris. And so he checked into this Airbnb, got the keys, went in, dropped off his luggage. I have heard some stuff that the luggage may have been actually left. Some of it was left outside, but there's actually ring camera. Actually, let me pull this up real quickly for you. There we go. Let me see. So this is actually the last bit of video we have of Jared. This was him arriving at the Airbnb. Okay, coming in, he had dropped off his stuff. Okay, left his stuff there, went inside, and then he turned around and left. And that was the last he was seen. Now, when he left, interestingly, he left everything pretty much he owned at the Airbnb: his phone, his wallet, his luggage, everything was left there. The only thing that I was able to verify, okay, from looking at stuff that he did have on him. Awesome, Chris. Thank you. I'll take a look at it after I'm done with this for sure. And the only thing I was able to get was a neighbor said they went back into their footage and they were able to see him leaving the area at 1:16. He left the Airbnb at 1:16 p.m. So pretty much right here. Okay, this is going to match heavily with what I'm going to tell you right now. He had on glasses, a light blue shirt, as you can see there, black shorts, and he was carrying a black tote bag. And so kind of what you're seeing there, that's the last video we have of him at 1:16. So I'm going to real quickly, just so you guys can kind of see this, see his behavior, anything that reaches out to you. Here we go.
We also have new
Let me do this quick. So you can see him unlocking himself. Sleuth, and that's the thing. I mentioned to you, LA is going to pop up in this, but we don't know if it was even happening at this point. So I'm going to rewind that a little bit here so you guys can see that one more time. He just goes in, drops off his stuff. Okay. And then turns around and leaves. And you can see there, he's got the little black tote that she's talking about there. He doesn't look like he's in any rush or anything like that. He looks like he's actually just coming back, coming into the area. His car was exactly, Chris, and we're going to be getting into that for sure. And because there's a lot of questions with that, because we're not seeing whether he was there or not. So let me switch us back to this now. And so I'm going to real quickly, actually, we're going to go over the missing poster again in a few minutes, but so you guys can see a bunch of different pictures of him. So he left at that point. He got into the car. It looks like it was his car. It was a white Volkswagen Tiguan, I guess. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right, but it's a Volkswagen Tiguan with DC plates. License plate tag GU 1824, 1824. And he left. Phone at the Airbnb, wallet at the Airbnb. He just left. Later on in the day, the Airbnb owner noticed he had never come back. And she called the police at that time to say, you know what, I have someone who checked in, he left, he's not come back. Something doesn't feel right. So that I found interesting how quickly they called. Actually, I think it was a male. The Airbnb owner was a male from what I was reading. And they were using the word he. And Sleuth Mom, Chris, Sleuth Mom, I wonder if someone else was paying his Airbnb. Interesting. Very interesting. Um, so according to his friends from childhood, okay, because again, guys, we talk about this all the time. When you're looking at missing people, you're also looking at their life, you're looking at who they are. That's what we're doing when we're advocating. We're advocating for a person, okay? And so looking at who they are and what people remember about them, okay, did they have concerns, things like that come into play. According to one of his childhood friends, and I'm sorry if I mispronounce this, Ayan Nur Bromwell, quote, he's been a consistent person within our lives for the past 13 years. I consider him family. And then went on further saying to hear that he has gone missing without saying anything. It was a lot because he is very responsible. He'll share his location. Somebody knows where he's going, regardless of if he decides to be alone or not. He still shares a level of visibility. And from the moment he left that Airbnb, no one had any idea what was going on. If they hadn't found his car, which we're going to get to in a few minutes, no one would have even known that part of it. And that says something. When you have family, when you have friends who are like, no, this person, even if they were out and about and doing stuff, when they go out and travel, because he was known to travel alone, he enjoyed traveling alone. That was not abnormal for him to travel. And in fact, he has one friend who connects him with LA. And that person said, yeah, he always would tell you what was. So this is really out of the norm, very much out of the norm. Another friend, Ciara Dalton, said he's known to be very independent, but not this independent, to the point where you leave your stuff at an Airbnb and he's financially responsible. So I feel like leaving your luggage and belongings at an Airbnb and not coming back was very irresponsible and not like him to do at all. So that's telling us more and more. He went from being someone who was extremely responsible, not giving anyone any signs of something happening, to all of a sudden a 180. Okay, something happened here. Was it him and a mental health thing? It's always possible. Always possible. Was it someone else? Okay, did he connect with someone else and he go back to see them and something happened? We don't know. We're hoping that's what the police are looking into right now. That's honestly what we're hoping the police are. Chris is saying, could he have been meeting Kathy, who is a law school friend, after? Yeah, and we're going to be getting into that one right now. Okay, because what happened was on the next step of what happened here. Um, oh, is sound low? Sorry. Thank you, Cat Mama, for letting me know. I lower it during Cantina, and I always forget to up it back after Cantina. And so let me go back to that. And hopefully that's better. Let me know, Grateful Middle Aged Cat Mama, if that is not good. So the 30th, police know that they have a potentially missing person. This person checks into an Airbnb, he leaves, he never checks out. All these things are going on at the same. Hey, Cassie, shh. Okay, all way better. That wasn't. Yeah, Cantina always does it. Always, always, always does it for my volume. And next step comes on August 8th. So we're moving forward about 9 days or so. And at that time, the police are like, we've got a problem here. We have a gentleman who has disappeared and we need to let other people know. So it wasn't that hard for them to figure out who he was. He left his wallet, his clothes, his luggage, his phone. There is no way of tracking him via his phone because he left his phone. And so they're able to contact family and tell his family, we are declaring, okay, Jared officially missing. Now, I will be honest with you. Unless I did something wrong, I am not seeing him in NamUs. I was trying to go looking in. I haven't looked into all the databases, but I'm not finding him in databases. But he was officially declared missing at that point. Family then get involved. They're like, family and friends are like, oh shoot, no, 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 something's wrong here. Okay, Chris mentioned a friend of his from LA also, who's like, okay, yeah, you know what, something. They're all communicating, and if you go onto Facebook, you can see the support that happened at that time. Okay, everything from, oh, my friend went missing, to Duke University. Duke University sending out posts on their Facebook saying, hey, one of our alumni has gone missing. Please. So, a lot of people got involved. Unfortunately, a lot of people were involved, but very little pushing outside of that. Okay. Until August 17th. When August 17th came around, police in LA were looking around and they came across a vehicle in the Atwater Village area of LA. This vehicle had been parked on this residential street, had been there since a ticket was given to it on August 4th. It had not been moved. It had not been anything. I mean, it had been sitting there. And the police were like, wait, something's going on. They're looking at, do we have to tow it? Things like that. And when they went to do their research on it, it connected with the case of Jared. So again, Jared went missing up in Seattle. His vehicle ended up found in LA a couple weeks later. It had been there since August 4th. So July 30th to at least August 4th now. We've been able to narrow down the time frame a little bit. Something happened between those 5 days or so. He ended up, or someone ended up driving his vehicle. His vehicle ended up in LA. It was parked and abandoned at that place. How do we know that the posts are accurate and legitimate? A lot of the things that we're looking at is, and that's one reason why when I go and I look for things, I look for various groups all agreeing. The police saying things okay, are verified. Um, the quitting of the job, I was able to get down to two different locations saying it. I'm not sure if you mean a different post or something like that. Let me know if there's another post you're talking about. I'm just talking in general. So the car was found. There was a ticket on it. They went into this car. At this point, the story definitely hit media a lot harder because they have a missing person who started up in Seattle, ends up in LA. Now, as Chris addressed, um, he has a friend there. Had he gone to visit her? No. His friend said she had not seen if he had come back, she didn't plan. What I had seen earlier is that he had actually been in LA. According to USA Today and one other location, he had been in that Forks, okay, Forks town, the town of Forks, in Washington, I think it was, yeah, Forks, Washington, and LA prior to getting to Seattle. So that opens up a lot of possibilities at that point. You run into some questions of, did he, when he was in LA initially, did something happen and he had to go back and he thought he was just driving down there and driving back? It's pretty far away. I mean, let me check. I forgot to do this, but let me check real quickly. LA to Seattle. How long of a drive? Seattle to LA drive time. Let's see how long of a drive time that is. Yeah, that is not something he would have done. That, okay, I'm showing Seattle to Los Angeles via car is a 17 and a half hour drive time. So that's not something that you would just be like, okay, I forgot something down in LA. I'm going to just drive down there, pick it up and come back. And I'll leave my stuff at at the Airbnb because I'll be back in a couple hours. No, he would have had to be gone overnight for something like that. So it brings up a lot of questions at that point. Was he the one who drove the car down to LA? Did he connect with someone else in Seattle? There's a lot of different possibilities at this point that could take place here. And we don't know what they are. We do know this. Okay. The family had some, and I don't know if this continued because, like I said, after the 18th, after August 18th, when all the news broke about the car being found in LA, there's been no further updates whatsoever. At first, I thought, oh, maybe he'd been found, but I can't find anything saying he was found either. And usually, even if someone is found, okay, and they don't want publicity to it, they'll still say, they'll update these. We all know, Chris, you know, Sleuth Mom, you know this, okay, and the Bushes, you know it. You go and you look at these articles, and they'll have something at the top saying, okay, so and so was found safe. And that might be all they say, but at least you know that there's nothing about this. So there's no updates right now about him being found. There's no updates as to what else has happened. I'm going to take it that he is still missing. Chris is asking, is the cops trying to verify that the car is his? They are saying the car is connected to his. Now, I do know one news thing is saying that they've been told that this is the vehicle connected to him. But they weren't able to get verified. Is this his personal car or a rental car type thing? My thought is this is an assumption, yes. But if it's DC license plates and he's from DC, yes, there's a chance it could be a rental, but I'd say pretty close that it was his, and it does match the car that he supposedly had. And I don't know whether or not the black bag was found in the car. I know yeah, exactly. And that's what exactly that they're not verifying. They're saying it's his vehicle, but they're not verifying whether or not it is his rental or the other, from what I'm seeing from multiple different articles, is how I'm seeing. What I am finding is they've been very, very generic about the information they're handing out. It's hit media. Okay, mainstream media. It's hit the normal channels. Hey, Red Rock, how you doing, my dear? But it's not being delved into further. There's no further discussions, anything like that. Now the family, hey, Princess Megan, how you doing? Also, how you doing too? And the one thing that did hit me interesting was when the family spoke with Fox 11. They commented that when the car was found, that they hoped LAP, since it was found in LA, they were hoping that the LA Police Department would take over the investigation. At the time, Seattle was in charge, and I think Seattle's still in charge. I haven't seen anything about it changing. All the phone numbers that I'm finding for calling for tips or anything are still Seattle. Um, but the family was hoping that LA would take over the investigation. And the reason for that is they felt that the police, as we hear in this so often, the police in Seattle are so busy, they weren't able to give the time that they really felt needed to be being put into this. They said, as of yet, and this was August 17th, 18th, and July 30th is when he went missing. They said, as of that time, Seattle authorities had not run Shadid's financial records. They did not run things like his Uber account to see did he park his car and then take an Uber somewhere else. They did not do all those other things that might actually give them a better idea of what happened to him. I don't know. This is a residential area. Were there any ring cameras so that they could see who parked the car and then walked off? Okay, I'm sure these are questions the family have wondered. Now, it's possible that the reason why there's so little being shared about this is they are really investigating this. And maybe it's taken a turn where they're like, you know what, we need to develop a case because this is not good news type thing. I don't know. We don't know that. Chris, I think LAPD will probably not be involved yet because it probably going to be, I don't know. I don't know. We have gone cross, okay, state lines, okay, from one place to another. But again, it's still August 18th or 17th is when they found the vehicle. Hello, 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 B Tim. How you doing? How you doing, my dear? And that to me is enough time that if it's going to be taken over by someone, it should have by now, in my mind. So I'm not sure why they're not checking those things because there are a lot. I mean, just taking a look at okay, toll cameras, okay, if are there toll routes between Seattle and LA? Could they have gotten okay traffic cameras or things like that looking for him? To me, there's a hell of a lot that could be looked into on this case. And yet I'm not seeing anything at all. I'm nothing. I mean, if anyone can find anything after August 18th, okay, outside of, oh, his car was found, I would love to know that because I'm not seeing anything. I do know his family, his friends. He's got a really, really good group of friends and family that care about him. They're still working on him. I haven't the reason why I haven't shared it here is because I haven't been able to verify that it is connected to the family. But there is, for example, a GoFundMe out there where they're trying to get a private investigator. Okay, if I'm able to get that verified from a family member that is on the up and up, I will share it out. But I have not been able there, and you guys know how I feel about GoFundMe's. Unless I can verify they're connected and not connected to some sort of scam out there, I'm very nervous about it. Um, but if I hear anything, I will let y'all know about that. Yeah, and that's the thing, Chris. There's nothing after I got typing up my notes and I got to August 17th, and then it was like nothing, absolutely zero about this case after that. Um, and like I said, there could be reasons. Honestly, there could be real reasons, guys, without assuming anything whatsoever. It could be that they know what's going on and they're trying to create a case. But what does worry me is if the family is trying to get a private investigator, that means the family's still not sure about what's going on. So, hey, Hope, how you doing, Hope? Oh, yes, I love those hearts today. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Yes. So, love you, my dear. And so I'm really hoping we'll start getting something on them. What gets me is one of his friends said that he took care of his dad. Okay, so he's got a dad who's worried about it. That much we know. We got friends who are right now trying to make the connection. His friend in LA, okay, is really, you could tell by her posts and stuff like that, that she's very concerned about where he is and what happened. There are so many out there with this case. Was it him who took the car all the way down to LA? Okay, or did he meet up with someone in Seattle and that person took the car and dumped the car in LA? Okay, if he did visit LA before going up to Seattle, why was he going back to LA? What happened in LA that made him want to go back? 17-hour drive, you usually are going to take your own phone. So there's a lot of things going on. Did he meet up with someone in Seattle? My mind's all over the place. When he was in Seattle, did he meet up with someone that he met from LA? And that person went, you don't know. None of us know any of this. Um, I can't tell by what I've read that zero people are concerned about this. Yeah, people are very concerned. If you go into the Facebook side of things, there are a lot of family and friends who are very concerned and wanting to know what happened to this. However, it just stops. It just stops. There's no further. And that's why I'm not sure if maybe they are sitting there trying to get more information to close out an investigation. I don't think he's been found. I'm hopefully if someone, family, friend, or whatever, watches this video and is able to tell us at that point that, you know what, no, they're investigating things and that's why we're just letting the police do their job at this point. What does worry me is one of the last bits of information from the family was they wanted more stuff to be done. So maybe more stuff is being done. We don't know. But what we do know is that this was and is a young, vibrant man who had so many different interests, things he wanted to do with his life. He loved music. For those of you who, JP, I'm not sure if you're still here, you know what music is like when you love music. He wanted to do some, okay, on the side, blogging on the side and stuff like that for music, go to concerts, things like that. He liked to hike. He liked to go out and go to coffee shops, things like that. There was definitely a lot of discussion I saw a couple different comments if you start reading comment sections of people saying that in Seattle, they wish they had known more about it when they were first looking because they didn't know that people were looking for this gentleman. And if they had known earlier, in fact, one of the people with the video camera coverage, they were like, you know what? I didn't know about that until now. Everything's starting to break, and it was a little whiles later. Hey, Ing, how you doing, Ing? Hey, my dear, how you doing? How's everything going? And so I'm hoping we'll get more information on this. If what they need is for his case to pick up again and people to be recognizing him, because one thing is for sure, his car got from Seattle to LA somehow. Someone drove that car there, whether it was him or someone else or whatever, someone drove that vehicle. People had to have seen him 17 hours. You're going to have to stop and get gas at some point. You're most likely going to stop and grab food at some point. Okay. They need to share his picture out. More people need to be looking for him, and very few people. It's not out there heavily. Really is not out there heavily. It was on a whim that I just happened to come across him. I've been looking more for people on the West Coast who have gone missing lately. And I just kind of came out. Yeah, not unless he was conspicuous about it. And yeah, it's possible. It's possible. But if we don't get the picture out, if it's not on Instagram, if it's not on Twitter, this is covering multiple states. So the more you cover, the more we need to get his picture out among all those locations to see what's going on. And one thing's for sure, a couple people have commented, I did not even know that this person was missing. And so, yeah, exactly. There should be some level of record. That's a 17 and a half hour drive. That's not a short drive. And to be doing that drive supposedly without a wallet, without a cell phone. Okay, just leave all that stuff at a Airbnb. Yes. And again, I mean, we can come back here. Last video of him. He did not show any feeling. You don't get the feel of someone who is upset or anything here. Okay, you're not seeing anything like that here. Got someone who's just kind of walking around. And so getting the information should be informative. Okay, hopefully we'll get more. Yeah, check CCTV. Exactly. So as there's not much on this, it's going to come back down to trying to get the word out. And if more information comes out, we'll let people know. He was not in distress. Exactly. No distress there whatsoever. Okay, and he looks like a happy-go-lucky guy. Look at it. I mean, if you look at all these pictures here, he's smiling and it's a natural smile. Okay, even the smiles that he's supposed to be smiling, it's natural. Okay, it looks like someone who is happy. He's got the lines in his face of someone who is happy. Okay, sitting there with his friend, and I don't know if it's a ballroom or whatever it is there, but they were having fun there. Chris, actually, this kind of makes sense to me because it sounds like a case that, I did hear one other person say he kind of looks like someone else that disappeared out of California. There was a comment about that in one area. Not sure. Not sure. That'll be very interesting. Hey, Dog Defender, how you doing, my dear? Mwah. Welcome, welcome, welcome. But it definitely, this is guy, Duke University, becomes a lawyer. He's working as a lawyer for immigration in a very, very, hot Washington, D.C. I mean, he's got a future ahead of himself. Okay, yes, it looks like he took a break to go on a road trip of some sort. That's for sure. And but what happened during that? Something happened. What is the rest of this story? What is the rest of his story? What happened to him? Okay, so his family doesn't have to keep wondering. So I'm going to switch us over to this right now. So this is Jared Shadid. He was last seen July 30th as he checked into the Airbnb in Seattle. He checked into it, dropped off his stuff, left, never to return. 27 years old, 5'7", 150 pounds. He has black hair, very short black hair, brown eyes. He lives in Baltimore, Maryland. So he lives in Washington, D.C. area. But where he went missing was actually across the country. It's somewhere on the West Coast, whether it was from the Seattle area all the way down to LA. Somewhere in that area is where he was last seen by people. Um, he left all of his belongings at the Airbnb. His car was later found in LA. It had been parked there, abandoned in a residential neighborhood for quite a while. Uh, Chris, there's a person who called Chandrea that did a video. Yes, there have been one or two other videos done on it. And that's why I'm so happy there have been some people. And then boom, we got to pick it up again. Okay, just because we don't hear doesn't mean the person isn't still missing, and we need to keep them in the public's eye. Um, was there a dog? No. And that's what, well, I'm not going to say no. None's been reported. I do know the person who there's a neighbor from the area where the Airbnb was. That neighbor said once they found out about him being missing, which was not until a couple days later, on top of things, they went through their CCTV stuff and they found CCTV cover. Well, Wise Cam, Ring, I don't know what it was, but they found coverage. They found where he had left at 1:16 p.m. and they described what he was wearing and everything, and it's exactly like what we're seeing in that video I just shared. But they themselves said it would have been nice if more people had made comments, because Seattle has this guy, one of the areas he loves to hang out is coffee houses. Seattle has coffee houses. So did he meet someone at a coffee house and something happened? Did he meet someone in LA when he was at LA before? Okay, if there is truth to what USA Today made the comment about how he had been in LA before going all the way up to Seattle. And could be something on that. Ing, I agree. I love Seattle. I absolutely love Seattle. I mean, best calzone I've ever had in my life was actually on when I was visiting that area. So I believe the local has all the CC footage that is, and that's it. And I think that is one of the concerns the family had, is that the family didn't feel Seattle law enforcement was doing a good enough job on searching into things. For those of you who weren't here when I was mentioning it, they were like, they weren't looking into his Uber account. They weren't looking into his financial records. All those things that might say what happened to him. Okay, did he use his credit card somewhere between that area that they could go and check that footage? Those things were not being done according to things. You can definitely, yeah, definitely send it to me real quickly. I'll try to take a look real quick on it. It might be stuff I've been pulling out stuff, but let me see what I can pull. Oh wait, you're on Discord now. Let me see. Sorry, I was going over to Facebook instead. Let me check out the Discord side of things. Because I've been looking at a bunch of stuff. Yeah, that one. I think that is it. The one from BIN. Let me just check this real quickly. I think this is one that August 24th. Yeah, that was the most recent and last thing. Here, what I'll do is I did get to actually see this one. Here, what I'll do real quickly is share what he just sent me. Stop screen sharing that. Let's see. Here we go. So this comes from BIN, the Black Information Network, and they were one of the last to actually cover anything with him. So it's talking about how he did vanish during his road trip last month. And this is actually, when I read this one, is when I was like, okay, I think we can honestly say there was a road trip involved in this. At first, I wasn't sure about it. So, oh yes, JP, I will. Definitely I will, for sure. And also, dog, was there a PD looking at traffic? See, and that's the thing. We don't know what's being looked at and what's not. And that's fine. Sometimes police need to look at these things and they need to have a private, to pull together all the information. The thing is, we don't know whether that's happening, because the last that the family was saying is that they didn't feel it was being done the way it should have been done. And they were actually, if there's truth to the GoFundMe I found, they're trying to get a PI for that. And if, like I said, if I find out for sure that that is connected to the family, I will share that out. So the search for an East Coast attorney, okay, they've been looking for him. What's here? I know it can be. Ing is saying, I know it can be frustrating to families, but at times the police can't rule out family to be involved. Yeah, due process. And that's the thing, we don't know. And that's one reason why it's like, okay, we got to be open to all the possibilities. Okay, and give everyone the benefit. Okay, but we need to make sure that the person who deserves the justice right now in this is Jared. Jared is the one that, okay, that's where it comes down to. So Jared was last seen on surveillance video out of the Airbnb, what I was showing you guys a few minutes ago. August 17th, they found the vehicle. Okay. And it had been abandoned around August 4th. The reason why they know the August 4th is the ticket that was left on the vehicle. He has not had any social media. The other thing he did was the last time he paid his rent in Washington, okay, Washington, D.C., for his actual apartment was July 3rd. So he would have probably been due for his next payment for his rent around the beginning of August, and there was no payment of that rent. Let's see. Family are working there. There's a picture of him. We're here to support him, find him, and we're willing to do everything we can to make sure he's okay. That's the friend, okay, that I was talking about earlier. The comment, in fact, there's the comment right there. What about the note on the ticket? I have not been able to get enough verification on the note with the ticket to be able to go into that. Wondering if we can contact detective on case and ask if there's anything that they knew. Yeah, those are things that we can always do. I'll be honest, I came across this case this morning. I usually look for these missing Monday cases on Monday because so many times I'm trying to find things from the last day. If something pops up, I want to be able to cover because time makes a big difference in cases. So there is not a digital footprint. And that's one thing I have read over and over and over in every single one of these things is that there's no digital footprint. He left his phone. Okay. Where? At the Airbnb. But if he traveled, what about financial footprint? Those would be information we would need. Yeah. Now, and there is actually, if you look at the poster when I share it, there is actually the case number connected with this case, and you can go looking at that if anyone wants to do any other further looking. So yeah. So this is pretty much okay. The same article for okay. All the articles, honestly, gang, they all are about the same. They all tend to have the same stuff written about them over and over and over. Again, no updates since the car was found. And that's what's interesting is that there hasn't been any updates. And yeah, a vehicle like that. Okay, what year was that vehicle again? I don't have what year the vehicle was, other than it was a Volkswagen Tiguan. So I'm not sure about the computers on that, whether or not they'd be able to track stuff or anything like that. But one thing's for sure, LA, there had to be traffic cameras catching it. Okay, but again, if it waited so long before they found it, they may not be able to get the information if it's been taped over, things like that. That's always a possibility. That's what gets me. Ing, honestly, that's what gets me in this case is that he got to the Airbnb, he checked in, he dropped all his stuff off. Okay, then he got in his car and he left, leaving his phone, wallet, all those things. The next thing anyone knows, his vehicle is found weeks later in LA. Okay, what happened there? Was it Was he the one who had the vehicle and took it to LA? Did he meet someone else and they took the vehicle back to LA? There's so many ifs in this. There's so many ifs. Um, the one thing that is for sure is they can't find him. They cannot find him. But that is an alarming. What does get me again, though, in this is this gentleman did not seem to have any mental health issues going on. None of his family are like, you know what? Yeah, we had noticed there were changes in his behavior or things like nothing like um that the most alarming thing I could see if I was looking at it was the fact that he had quit his job to do this road trip. That's about the most alarming thing I could see. But what is weird, if someone was going to do something like that, it sounds like he was okay, focused enough that he was. I'll take a look at that later, Chris, for sure. And bit, just in case it's the same stuff that I'd seen earlier, for sure. And if not, I will repost and let people know about the new updates there. Um, it's just weird. Yeah, it's really weird that he would leave all that. He'd leave his job, quit his job. He still had his license in effect and all that. So he was good to come back and start back up. Sounds to me like he was going on a road trip to do what his dream had been. Like they said, okay, his friend said he had a dream of going on a road trip, seeing music, things like that. And so it's definitely something that is very interesting to look into there. So hopefully we'll find some stuff with that. So let me go back to this. I will definitely, I think I take a look, but I'll definitely for sure. I'll connect with you right after this also. And so, but yeah, trying to figure out, and I'm hoping now that they found the car, there's that car is enough information for them to get going on that next step. And maybe that's why we're not hearing anymore. Maybe that next step took them in a different direction. It's very possible. And that's why I just hope that they're able to use that for wherever it goes. But in the meantime, there are people out there who did see him that day. Whether it is in Seattle as he okay was in left the Airbnb and maybe he went to a coffee house or something like that and someone saw him there, or maybe someone saw him on the drive to LA or even in LA. So hopefully they can find out from there. Now, a couple things that I have not mentioned for recognizing him. Okay, we do have the pictures. Everyone's seen what he was wearing based off of that. He does have a number of tattoos, and the tattoos, they're enough where you could recognize. Now, again, tattoos can be covered, and but it's good to know. Those tattoos included a dragon on his right calf. Okay, so the calf area dragon, a Roman column. So you guys know those Roman columns that kind of have the thicker up top and then they go down, then they have lines on them and all. A Roman column on the inside of his arm and a portrait of his mom on his shoulder. Okay, so those things and interest. Okay, one other thing very important to know, he has both ears pierced. So we can definitely recognize now again, earrings may not be being worn, but he does have the piercings there. And so things we can keep an eye out for. I have shared the posters out on Discord. So if anyone wants to download those and share those out, I will also make sure to share those here on my community tab, as well as Instagram X. I got to say the right word for it now. So if you guys can help us on sharing this out, and like I said, if I find out anything about the GoFundMe, if I find out any new updates outside of everything that we already know and that I've already gone through here, I will definitely update everyone on those things. So hope you guys have an amazing day. I'm trying to keep Missing Mondays to about an hour now because I do know that tends to be the good time, especially with those of you who are trying to get kiddos ready for school now that school's back in session. And also, I will talk to y'all later. I hope you guys have a great day. Oh, now you know I'm talking, huh? Okay, you gonna say goodbye to everyone? You gonna say goodbye? Okay, I love you. And hope you guys have an amazing night. Aloha. Mahalo. I actually hope you guys have an amazing, amazing work week, school week, whatever it is. And I will talk to y'all later. Bye bye, guys.